Hi, welcome to Motor Minds. I'm Ruben, your host. I'm also a mechanic. This is my shop. This is RG3 Solutions. This is the Acme Rocket. One of the cars we'll be featuring. We're doing this project in collaboration with the art museum that we have here in town, here in Pomona, called the DAW. They're a wonderful group of people that we love working with. They share our passion for cars, art, culture, and all the individuals, the wonderful individuals that surround our hobby. So I hope you can join us on our podcast that we're getting into. We're going to be discussing all those things that I just mentioned, and I hope you can join us. And I'm really excited about it, and I look forward to taking this cruise with you. Thank you. This is the Acme Rocket, aka Gross Negligence, 1941 Chevy Master Deluxe, and this is the pilot of this wonderful machine, Joe Rios. We built this car here at the shop. All the parts were handpicked by us for Joe, custom for him. We're going to be talking about the car later on, getting into more detail about all the cool goodies that are under the hood and why it is what it is and why it's so cool. And yeah. Hi everyone, welcome friends, welcome back to Motor Minds. Here we are again. This time I'm with my friends Trisha and Sal. They're our big sponsors for the upcoming car show that we have. The third annual Consafos Car Show is coming up. They own Rancho Transmissions here in town, or in Ontario, right?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, Rancho Cucamonga. And let's start it off. You guys can tell us a little bit about yourselves or a little bit about the shop, if you guys like.
Sure. Well, my name's Sal, and my wife Trisha. We actually grew up in Pomona. Went to local schools. Grew up in Pomona. I actually got into the business, transmission business, very young. I was that young kid with the wrenches in his hands, greasy hands from the time I was knee high. My dad actually had a transmission shop throughout my early years, and that's how I actually got involved in the repairing of transmissions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you start off with like automatic transmissions or?
We actually started off with automatic transmissions. That's actually our specialty. We specialize in foreign and domestic. Anything that's basically on the road, we could repair.
Okay. Cool. And how about you?
I grew up here in Pomona. Actually, met my husband Sal at Simon's Middle School, and I grew up with an older brother that to restore cars, and so that was always in my backyard, in my garage, taking place, and that's where I kind of was introduced to the love of cars and seeing it, from nothing into then to this beautiful, car that would come, with trophies that my brother would come with on the weekends and stuff like that, and that's kind of how I got introduced to cars, just the love of what I see in my family.
The culture, right?
Yes.
That's what we talk about here. We talk about that, it's more than just the metal and steel, right? There's so much around it, all that stuff around it. Like you said, watching the car, come together and come to be bringing trophies, and all the other rewards that come with it. So did you guys meet because of cars?
Well, we met in middle school, just,
Cars probably helped, I'm sure.
Of
That
course,
you guys went
yeah.
into similar
Yeah.
things.
Eventually, we used to
Mhm.
sit in a car and talk, right, in the late evenings and stuff like that. But I knew that he had a love for transmissions, and I knew that was in his family, and so we always kind of talked about owning a transmission shop and doing
Wow.
those dreams when we were in high school and we were early married. We always would
That's awesome.
come up with different names for our business and stuff like that. We
But
always
you knew you wanted a transmission shop.
That has always been the goal. That was
Wow.
always like the end result, what we were always striving for.
Wow, that's highly impressive because normally, people go after a body shop or a hot rod shop. If they do aspire to have their own place, it's usually one of the two because they're a little bit easier. It's just a little bit easier for me. Speaking from my personal experience, transmissions are kind of like black magic inside. I don't know what's going on in there really. I mean, I know more or less the names of components and more or less what they have to do, but it's a complicated thing going on in there. A simple Hydromatic 350 transmission is basic. I mean, it's going to be Greek to most people, but then you've got the new 8 speeds, 9 speeds, 10 speeds, and so on and so forth, and the CVTs, and whatever else there is out there, right?
There's so many changes in technology now. We just see it as a big 3D puzzle. It's actually an art piece. Once everything's disassembled, get it assembled, that's where the satisfaction comes in. We have a vehicle come in on a tow truck, maybe it's not moving, and then we're able to get it back on the road.
Yeah, and solve someone's problem maybe, help them get to work, or like ease their stress. A lot of times they come in and they're just completely lost for what to do. I don't know what to do. My car just doesn't go anymore. It's supposed to. And then you get to be the person that kind of helps and guides them through that and gets them back on the road. You get to solve. I was talking to someone about this the other day. One of the main kind of underlying reasons I got into this period was that I wanted to help people. Yes, I love cars, right? But it's tied into, you kind of like helping, you like bringing something to the table, and maybe in some cases, if you do it right, you get to be the hero. You get to be the one that really, comes through in the shining armor and gets to, do something a little bit beyond just fixing the car. Get them to the soccer game on time or help the family put food on the table, whatever it may be. If it's a work truck or, soccer mom's car, something like that. So, do you work on transmissions as well?
I don't. I definitely know all about
I would imagine,
transmissions,
yes.
and I always like to kind of, when I hear, a problem going on, I'll ask him, like, how did you fix that, or could it possibly be this, or so throughout the years, I definitely have learned.
I bet you help out with the troubleshooting sometimes, right? Or some of the diagnosing, right, when the car comes in.
Yeah, definitely. In the early years when, he was, repairing transmissions in our garage, I would go out there and I, helped hold up transmissions, and, I got to see the, tons of pieces of the puzzle, and I just kind of, it really fascinated me to think like, wow, like you actually put this together and this is what helps, the car move, so.
That kind of stuff builds bonds too, doesn't it? When you're out there in the garage, helping under a transmission, on your back, trying to get someone up in there. You remember those times. You remember those little struggles, but then also you remember the time you got it fixed. And the car's running again and driving around. I want to enjoying it now because of that little discomfort that we went through, or that little struggle. So you guys kind of always knew you wanted to be getting into transmissions. Do you prefer auto or stick shift cars?
I actually specialize in automatic only. Interesting, manual transmissions are a whole different area. Just never got into it really. And actually transmissions is a family business of ours. All of my uncles on my dad's side we're all transmission guys.
Wow.
So it's a family affair. I
Do you
guess
do
could
race
say.
car transmissions also?
Some race car transmissions, just depending on what the need is, but yeah, we'll be happy to.
I know racing is like one of the hardest things on transmissions, and even when I'm doing it, I got to be careful telling my transmission guy that I'm putting it into a race car, because he's like, whoa man,
Yes.
Racing is very hard on a car, and the force generated sometimes, I mean, these parts are not meant to handle it. So no matter what you do, you're gonna break stuff.
That's exactly right.
No matter what you do, you're gonna break it. So it's tough. I know. From a racing standpoint, you're always looking for a transmission guy, a good transmission guy, and there's only so much you can do in a lot of cases. Most of the time, it's operator error. You just got to know your machine, and to make that pass or make that pull, you got to know how to do it. Can't do a lot of things that will harm it and hurt it. So you got to know like what's going on in there. So that's cool. I myself, I think stick shift's more fun. Like when you're in a canyon carving situation where you're going through all the twisty roads and you're shifting the gears. Yeah, that's fun. But it's brute speed. I know that automatic transmissions are faster. All the race car guys, they use automatics because you just put it where you need it on D, and then the car does the rest, right? So
That's right.
so we always make that joke that automatic transmissions are faster. If you want to win races, you go with an automatic. So I guess if you don't have the same answer, my next question is, what's your dream car?
My dream car, probably, I would say, I've always mentioned a Corvette. Probably like a 78, 79 Corvette.
The Stingray?
Right.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, the body lines, just everything about that car.
Yeah, that is a pretty car. I mean, it's like that body style what came out in the early 60s, but I think in the late 70s it kind of transitioned more. The headlights and taillights changed. So the 78, I think after 77, they were pretty unique. A lot of the chrome went away, right? I don't know if that car has chrome on it. They might have the fiberglass bumpers
That's
now,
right.
and then the chrome might be eliminated. I know the early body style had some chrome on it. That's a pretty car. It's a real pretty car. Automatic, of course, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So let me just ask you, since it's coming to me now, what is your favorite automatic transmission?
Favorite automatic transmission?
This is for the techie people out
or the
there.
one that we see the most right now are the new body style Silverados.
Like a
The
6L80?
6L80, 6L90. That transmission, what's really great about that unit, at least for us on the repair side, is there are a lot of updates available to make the transmission a little bit better than the factory one that always fails. So we work on new transmissions all the time, that's what fails. So it's my job in the aftermarket to find out if there are any technical things that we could do to make the design a little bit better. We can't redesign the whole unit, but there are certain things that we could do from a technical standpoint to make it a little bit better.
Okay. I know those GMs are real popular. That 6L80 comes in a lot of stuff, and it's another one. We were just talking about racing. That's one people like to beat on. That's the one you
Yep.
see in the intersections, spinning around, doing donuts in the smoke show, and then a little while later they got 6 neutrals, right? Every gear is neutral. It's a transmission joke.
They're not meant to do that, but yes.
Okay. And you? Your favorite car?
I really don't have.
Do you like trucks, cars? I always ask low and slow. Sometimes some people like fast and furious. Some people prefer racing, and other people just low and slow. Put on my tunes and cruise it.
Yeah, no, I don't have like a specific car. As long as it gets me where I want to go, I'm
Okay.
alright.
Yeah, that's common too. Sometimes we just need it to do it it's supposed to do. Okay. And so do you have like a custom car right now, or
What we have a van. We've got a 96 Ford Econoline van. We're actually in the process, and we've done a lot of work to it. It's actually more of our getaway van, our camper style van.
okay, like
Yeah.
exploring or
Yes.
overland? Sometimes they call them
Exactly.
overland vehicles.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun. We take it out on the weekends and things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to get into those. Just a couple of years ago, I really started to get heavy into 4x4 and just going off the grid, kind of. Your phone loses signal, and that's good. It's a good thing.
Trust.
No, right?
I can relate, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we will get into all the other stuff. All right, it's a good. I completely understand the need for a vehicle that is self-sufficient and you can just go off And we don't talk about that enough on the show, and I think it's probably a genre that's like really overlooked. We're always talking about going fast. We're always talking about cruising Whittier Boulevard or whatever. But I've never really talked about how not only do you need the car to get you to point A to point B, sometimes you need that car to escape. Sometimes you need that car to get you just out of here. We need to get out of here. We need to get away, and I don't care where we're going, but we need to get out of here. And so that's why the car is, so great sometimes, because it is that escape pod. It is that way out. It is that way for you to just unplug and disconnect, and that's sometimes what you got to do. You just got to get out of Dodge. And yeah, it's not always just about getting to point B. It's about getting away from point A, right? So okay, that's great. I mean, the overland thing is like something we should probably talk about more. So what did you learn to drive in?
When I learned to drive in, I think it was like an '86 Mustang.
Oh,
That I could remember.
Was it a five? It was a 5.0.
It wasn't a 5.0, but it was an '86 Mustang. I remember. Yeah.
Still,
Good days.
was it the 4-banger one or the 6-cylinder?
I think it was a 6-cylinder, if I remember
Okay,
correctly.
cool. At least because there was that 4-banger turbo model that they had. I think during that era, it was kind of peppy as well. So was it easy? Did you have a hard time? Did you pass your driving test in the first try?
I did pass it on the first try, I think so, because I started driving, times were a little bit different years past, and I started driving pretty young, I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Same here. I won't throw out any numbers, but
Yeah.
yeah, really young. Really young. I mean, when you're around it, it's like, hey, man, someone needs to pull this car around, or, give them the keys.
That was me.
He
I
won't
was,
wreck it.
I was that kid.
You can barely reach the pedals, but
Right.
he won't crash it. Do you remember when you first learned to drive?
I first learned to drive, I would say, on my mom's Cadillac, it was like Eldorado.
Yep.
I don't
A big old
remember.
bolt,
It
yeah,
was
Cadillac, a
pretty big. It
Landion.
was definitely
Don't
good
tell me you
protection.
took your driving test in that thing. That would've been
I
cool.
don't remember what I did, take my driver's test, but I know that those are like the first, time thinking like, oh, man, I can't mess up my mom's car, I gotta be extra careful.
You're more worried about messing up the car
Yeah.
than passing the test. You're like, oh, you passed. I don't care, but I didn't scratch the
car's
car.
okay,
The car's
yeah.
cool. Awesome. So, you don't really have a favorite. My favorite is probably going fast. I'm still not quite to the low and slow thing yet, so I'm still visiting the transmission guy a lot with broken transmissions. I'm still in that phase of things. Just in case you were wondering. So, do you enjoy modifying them or customizing them like at all? Like
Transmissions and
cars, just
Cars.
personalizing them, or what could you say are some of the things you've done to your Econoline, to your Overland
What
thing?
we've done, as far as suspension, we've upgraded the suspension, larger tires, larger wheels, of course, bumpers.
Is it a 4x4?
It's a two-wheel drive, actually.
Okay.
It's one thing that maybe we'll do in the future.
There's a couple of 4x4 vans running around in the
Yeah.
Econolines out there, and even diesel ones. Is yours a diesel?
No, yes.
Oh, okay.
5.0.
Okay.
And we've
Ooh.
definitely made it very comfortable inside, so
Oh,
we have a nice size, probably between a queen and a king size bed in the back and plenty of storage and, for all
Do
of
you have
our-
like gray water tanks installed on that, or okay?
Not yet. Not yet. We're working on that.
So
still.
it's just like an
It's in
adventure
the
thing.
process.
It's just right, and they always are, right? They're never out of the process.
Yeah.
They're never done. They're never done. You're always gonna be, what's next. So, do you have any memorable events in that van? Do you have any history with it, or any like kind of a time that you can remember that you had some fun in the van?
Well, we always, what did we do recently? Where did we go?
Well, we were just camping, actually
right.
for 4th of July
That's right.
weekend, we were
Cool.
camping,
Just this
and
past weekend.
we enjoyed just taking drives to the beach and just spending the night, wherever we kind of end up, and we enjoy sometimes just taking a ride up to the mountains and just kind of sitting, finding a place and just sitting and just relaxing.
You're those people I'm jealous of. When I get to the top of the canyon, I see people just chilling up there, and they've got their toes in the wind, and they're just chilling in the back of the van. And that's what it's all about. Like I said, sometimes you just need to get away. And the relatable thing is from running a business. I know, I know what that's like. I know we already said that, but yeah, I mean, just that getting away. It doesn't matter so much always where you're at. It's who's with you. And what you're thinking about or what you're not thinking about, and it's so mentally cleansing. It's It's a mental thing. So, you guys did grow up around here, right?
Yes.
What are some memorable events that you can recall, maybe pertaining to the car culture around here in Pomona? I mean, we had a person last week talk about he was here when PD shut down cruising on Holt Boulevard. You know, cruising down Holt was a big thing, and you know he was here one of the times the PD had to shut it down because you know people get and just so. Can you guys remember a time that memorable time in Pomona and car culture?
I do. I was probably in elementary school. My brothers and sisters are a little older than me, and so they were in high school at the time. And being able to go with them on that cruise night, and parking in that parking lot, and being able to just see all these different cars, and just being able to be a part. I mean, I was that little sister that she has to go, and as long as you guys are gonna go. And I was
They didn't make you ride with someone else, did they? Like the American Graffiti thing. Have you ever seen that
No,
movie?
I was definitely right with them. But
Have you ever seen American Graffiti?
I have, yeah.
You know the scene I'm talking about, right? Where there's a little sister who has to ride with them, and they I think the guys are trying to pick up girls or something like that, and he's like, "Hey, you got anybody that'll ride with me?" And they're like, "Oh, so and so sister will ride with you," and then they make they kick the girl out of the car. They make her ride with someone else, because they don't want to be tagging along with their little sister,
No, my brother, he always was very welcoming and always, took
That's
care
awesome.
of me and made sure I had my little snacks and I was there with all the guys, and if the girls showed up, I was with them too. So it was pretty nice. Those are some nice memories that I have.
Good times. Good times. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Well, we're just looking forward to being a part of this Consafos Car Show coming up. We're excited and looking forward to a great event.
Yes, and as a board member of the DAW, we, are very grateful for everything that the DAW has done for our community. And growing up here in Pomona, the DAW's been around for quite some time, and it's an honor to be on the board and be able to be a part of what everything that's taking place. And I'm really excited about this car show and being able to sponsor it, as well as to be able to work alongside Mike Suarez and assisting him with this car show. And I'm really excited, and I hope that if you have a car that's out there that you want to showcase, is make sure that you connect with us. Saturday, September 25th is our car show, and we have plenty of space, and we encourage you to share the information. It's going to be at 9 a.m. to noon, and it's in the parking lot right across the street from the DAW. And we're really looking forward to everybody coming together and just celebrating this great art of cars.
Amen. Yeah, I'm excited as well. I'm very hopeful to fill up the parking lot. I know that's a bit optimistic, but I know we can do it. And even the surrounding streets, I'm very excited to fill up the parking lot. And then, how work gets around. I expect to have the parking lot full by 10, and then everybody to be texting their buddies to come on down here because it's such a heck of a turnout. You got to get down here. And so by noon, I expect just gridlock and mayhem all around
That's
all the
awesome.
streets. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Everybody come down, tell your friends. We'll be here the 25th. I think we might switch to our next guest now. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. care of the rest. I got it. Hi everyone. Back again. This time with Mr. Albert Flores. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Flores has two beautiful cars that we know of. A 65 Nova and a 68 C10. I'm sorry. Both of them very gorgeous. Today you brought the 65. You want to tell us a little bit about the 65, some highlights?
I got the 65 Nova about 5-6 years ago. The outside was pretty raggedy, pretty run down. But for the most part, the bottom end, the suspension was already redone. It was in decent shape. The engine back then was a 283, so it had a little power, but not the type of power I was looking for. Didn't have a power glide transmission 2-speed, so obviously I wanted to upgrade to a 3-speed. So as time went on, I went and had the car repainted. I upgraded not me, Ruben upgraded the engine to a 3-stroker, and we upgraded the transmission from a power glide to a 350 tranny. A couple of additions, upgraded the wheels, tires, and I'm pretty happy with it. Ruben put a Flowmaster in it, just hums and it just sounds great. Well, thank you.
Man, no problem. Anytime. So we're here. Okay. Do you tell us a little bit about the truck?
For the truck, so I do have a C10.
Chevy short bed.
Yep.
The one everybody wants, right? The one everybody wants. The
I
short bed
purchased
Chevy.
that after the Nova. Once I had the car in line and I had it the way I liked it, I was looking for a bigger truck. I love old Chevy trucks, so I was looking around and I just love the two-tone trucks. And this particular truck caught my eye because it had that baby blue and the white top. And that's pretty much what I was looking for, a two-tone with either the teal, the white, the blue, the white. And I found the blue and I just chased it down, picked up the truck and done some minor upgrades. I'm sorry, Ruben has done some upgrades. And,
We've done them. We did them together. We're a team. We're a team, everybody. We do
So
this together.
So it's in the process of still receiving some upgrades. The engine, pretty much increased the horsepower to 430 horsepower. Upgraded the transmission, and now we're working on the rear end.
Right. Right. And the rear end should be back any time now, and that's what's holding that one up. So, I know you're a business guy on the outside of being a car guy, besides being a car guy. So I wanted to ask you if you could talk a little bit about the practicality of hot rods, because a lot of people will question like how practical it is. I mean, you're dumping money into an old car, and so you could talk about, maybe you could tell us about what you get out of it. What's your reward? How do you make sense of it? How do you justify that expense? A very large expense in some cases.
How do we justify that expense?
Right. Wanted to stump you right off the bat with a tough question.
It's hard to justify the expense, but it is pretty rewarding when you're driving down the street, and everybody has a different aspect of the car culture that they like. I just like the noise, the hum, the smell, and I get home and I take my cars out on the weekend and I jump in them and I turn them on and I just like the sound, the hum, the odor, and as you just hot rod around the neighborhood, it's just thrilling. I like the acceleration, so this is pretty much it. It's therapy for me.
So it
it gives me
sounds-
a chance to just get away and
Therapy.
just do me.
It sounds like it's a very visceral experience for you. Like
Yeah.
a lot of feeling is
Oh,
involved.
I guess I didn't know I was a feelings kind of guy, but I guess I am.
Yeah, because you mentioned the hum and the smell. I mean, it's
Right.
like yeah, those are sounds and smells, but you're feeling them. It's not visual. A lot of times we just focus on the visual aspect of a car, the stance, the color, the wheels. That's all visual.
Right.
But the feeling is the other stuff. Riding around, people's reactions, the sounds, maybe the lightheadedness after breathing in too much fumes.
For that. Right.
A little bit of that. Idling too long in the drive-through. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, not really practical. But it's so we could say it can be impractical for some maybe. It's not. It's only practical. It's only practical for some maybe. Would you say that that's kind of safe to say that you'd have to find your own rewards in it and you'd have to justify your own expense, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody needs to see what they like and what they enjoy, and
Because I do get that sticker shock a lot. When someone asks me how much something costs, you know, how much does it cost to do this swap, or how much does it cost to upgrade the engine or do a conversion, you know, and there's that initial like, whoa, you know, and so we always talk about, and that's one of my goals with the show. One of my goals with the show is to kind of explain how we can justify it and why, you know, why we're doing it, why we're dumping this much money into an old piece of metal, because like you mentioned, it's therapy, you know, and that's complicated. So we're like trying to unpack that, you know. That's what I'm trying to unpack is how is it therapy for people? Because I agree 100%. It's definitely therapy for me, and not just driving them around, working on them, you know, just shutting the door, turning the lights off, setting my tunes on, and I just get to the zone. I go to the zone, and you know, that's my therapy. So yeah, that's what we kind of want to share with everybody. We want to share with you guys watching that it is something that is an outlet. It's an outlet if you're a little stressed out, you had a long day at work, or maybe a long week. You know, you just take the car out on the weekends, and it kind of helps dissipate or help you forget about.
Absolutely. Just get into the zone, get away from life, and just enjoy the roar.
Enjoy the roar. I like that. I'm gonna be saying that one. Enjoy the roar. Okay. So, which one of those vehicles do you think gets the most attention?
For whatever reason, I think it's a truck. It just attracts a lot of people, and I get a lot more comments on the truck.
People do love those old Chevys.
Yeah.
Extremely, I mean, well proportioned, beautiful truck. I mean, it's a truck that's just beautiful. From the time they made it, roll off the assembly line, the lines on it, it's just a pretty truck. And over the test of time, I don't think they've made too many trucks that are prettier. I just don't think there's been too many trucks out that were better looking than that one.
Nice, solid, two-tone,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful truck.
Yeah, so that one's definitely a people pleaser. I know. And then the short bed, that's the one everybody wants.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of modifications do you plan on next?
Well, actually, from the beginning, I didn't plan on any, and then we did one, then two, then three, then four, and five, and we're still going at it. So, like I mentioned earlier, we did upgrade the engine, put a crate engine on there with 430 horsepower. We upgraded the transmission. We replaced the seat, the carpet. We're redoing the rear end. We're adding the disc brakes on the back, the Wilwood brakes. Well, now since I'm almost done with back, or you're almost done with back, now we have to make sure the front matches back. So then we have to do the front. And I guess my goal is just do the details to get it as close to perfection as possible before it hits a paint shop again.
Do you ever think you'll take one of them to the racetrack?
No, I love them. I like them. I don't want to break them.
Right. We never want to break them. We do break them, but we don't want
A
to.
racetrack, I'm not into that. I'm just into the music, the roar, the hum, and quick acceleration for a few seconds.
Right, like we were just talking about with the transmission people. I mean, there's really no way to conserve your transmission or a lot of components when you're racing. When you're racing, that's just maximum flat out abuse
Right.
in a lot of cases. And you just, again, trying to see what the car can do. And a lot of times you break it trying to see what it can do. So, I mean, lucky for me, I still work on them. So when I break things, I got to get under there and fix it. But, yeah, I definitely understand, like, not wanting to break it, wanting to preserve it.
And preserve it, make it look pretty.
This is why we have nice things.
Exactly.
This is why we can't
I
have
want it
nice
to last
things.
a long time.
Absolutely. So, would you ever, okay, so not the racetrack, but would you ever maybe attempt not attempt, because I'm sure you'd be fine, but a longer road trip, or maybe a cross-country trip, or somewhere far, where you're in the car for a couple of days, long, cruising? I think your cars would do it just fine, but it'd be up to you, because you sit there for,
Actually, I never thought about it.
hours just going,
Yeah.
because the car will cruise 75 for days.
I mean, I actually hot rod. I jump in there, pretty much put some rubber and
Put
hot
it away.
rod around there and put it away, and I stop and go and kind of rattle it for a while. So I don't think I'm a long trip kind of guy. Maybe the beach and back, but more into the acceleration and the noise of the music.
That's cool. I hope you guys are paying attention. Our last guest liked to just drive and chill. We have one that likes to just kind of take them out, beat on them, and put them away. And
That's
everybody does that. And I do that too. I have a few cars that just sit there, and they might be sitting there for months. And I might just come and put fresh gas, jumpstart the battery, take it out, beat on it, burn some tire like you said, and then put it away, and I might sit there another few more months. So yeah, I definitely understand that. You mentioned tune skis earlier, um, so you do need tunes. I was gonna ask you if you need tunes or if the engine sounds are enough.
Depending on how I feel, depends on the moment. Typically, the sound of the vehicle is typically enough, but every once in a while, I want to get on the freeway and put on some CCR or some Rolling Stones.
Credence.
Yeah, go back to some classic rock and just punch it for a while.
Yeah, Credence is great cruising music. And both your cars are like from the '60s, so I mean,
There you go.
it's right.
Just run it for
It's
whatever
right.
reason you like that decade.
Did you know that you wanted those cars when you were younger? Like when you were a little kid, did you see, oh, '65 Nova, that's the one I want?
Not necessarily. So I was growing up, my parents, uncles had different cars, got cars, got rid of them. And then into my early 20s, I would pick up some vehicles, but I never had money, in my early 20s. So they'd break down, I'd sell them. Then I'd buy another one, and I'd run out of money, and that would break down, and I would have it hauled away to the junkyard and sell it. Then I'd get another one, and I would, again, break the transmission, not have enough money, and I'd have that put away and get some money. So, and then I'm not mechanically inclined. So I'm like, okay, let's see. I don't have too many mechanical skills and didn't have money, so I kind of waited around until I made a little coin. And at that point, I figured, you know what, it's time to get some cars. But I still wasn't mechanically inclined, so I had to search for someone like Ruben. So,
Here I am.
and there you are. So now you're the guy.
Well, I'll be around as long as you'll put up with me, sir. As long as
That's
you'll.
tough. That's very tough.
I'm sorry, I'm
You
trying.
have no idea.
I'm working on it.
No, but so far so good. He has him running well, and you take your time, you're conscientious, and you get it dialed the way people.
I try to give you what you want because like this show is about how differently everybody does it and how the different way. There's no wrong way to do it.
Sure.
Even taking them out to the racetrack and breaking them, that's not really wrong. It's just not everybody's cup of tea. So like I try to listen to my customers or clients or partners. A lot of times we're more like partners because I have to listen very intently about what you want. And try to give you that because it's a broad world. We can do all kinds of different things. And if we're missing the mark, if I'm not listening to you, yeah, we're gonna be off target.
Right, and some people want different things, or many people want different things than others. So.
Or sometimes some mechanics try to sell you stuff,
Oh, me too.
like, oh, you need this and you need that. It's like, whoa, I don't need twin turbo, man. I'm just taking the car to Starbucks.
That's it.
I just needed to smoke the rear tires once
That's
in a
it.
while. I don't need twin turbo for that.
Just a little pressure. That's all.
Just 383 stroker and some
That's
right
it.
gearing. That's all
Yeah,
we need.
good sounds, and you're ready to go.
What's the coolest place you've taken it?
Coolest place, other than your shop?
Right. Well, I see.
Coolest place. That's a great question. I don't think I've taken it to any cool places. I get up and drive to the hat, back, drive to the show.
The hat's pretty
back,
cool. I like giving
shop,
some gravy
back,
cheese fries.
Starbucks, back. That's about it.
Yeah, you really don't need too much
don't go too
else
far.
because that's your therapy. You decide what it is. You're hearing that hum. You're smelling the fumes. You're getting a little lightheaded, but that's all right. That's what.
That's it. You get a haircut, back. That's it.
So can you remember a time when you got like a really cool reaction from somebody? Did someone really just lose their marbles when they see one of the cars? You're laughing because it probably happens all the time, huh?
The truck, for whatever reason, it's just weird. That truck just really attracts
People
a lot of
stopping you
people.
on the street or hollering and honking at you.
I get a thumbs up on the Nova and hi, that's nice, but for whatever reason, that truck, people actually stop me, make comments.
One time I was driving the truck and I was getting off the freeway right here on White, and somebody pulled up behind me and I thought they were going to try to carjack me. They got off their truck and they walked alongside to the driver's side. And he just wanted to ask me how much I wanted for it.
Oh.
He just wanted to ask me how much I wanted for it. But I seen him coming in the mirror and I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get carjacked, And the guy walks up in the street. We're stopped at a red light. If you're familiar with the area, on White and Orange Grove, right in front of Bravo Burger.
Sure.
And the guy just parks his car in the intersection and, hey, how much do you want for that thing? And I said, $100,000. And he said, no, really? And I said, yes, really, $100,000. You can have that car. Give me the $100,000. I'll explain to Albert that I sold his truck for $100,000. And
I guess we could.
yeah, I'm sure you'd be okay
It'll
with
be
it.
acceptable.
You'd be all right. I knew you'd be fine with it, by the way, if he was gonna cough up the money. But we could probably buy 4 maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, so you never really got. I mean, just randoms every day, huh? Every time you take it
Randoms,
out.
young kids, high school guys, gals, older
So
couples, just-
I did. I was gonna ask. This is one of my questions, but you kind of talked about it already. I was gonna say, what did you drive in high school?
What did I drive in high school? What did I drive? 78 VW bus.
Oh, wow, that's a
Yeah.
cool one.
Until it broke down, then I had it hauled away and I sold it. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
I
those,
did that 5 or 6 times. I should have done that. But
that's
You
that
never know.
that you know what that probably helped the value of those VW buses today. Today the value of them is like ridiculously
Right.
through the roof because how many people had them crushed, hauled off, scrapped, and so at one point we had 500,000 on the road. Now there's only about maybe 1,000, if that.
Sure.
People didn't like them for whatever reason because they were really slow, but now they're super cool. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm getting his name wrong. The comedian Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He collects them. He has a bunch of them, and he pays top dollar. I can only imagine what he spends on the restorations. Some of the restorations on these things are like $100,000 restorations. So, yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything we didn't cover?
No, I'm just thankful that Ruben is pretty conscientious, takes time to do the troubleshooting and take care of business. If something doesn't look right or work right, he comes back and he makes it right. So again, thanks. For a guy that's very not mechanically inclined, give me a wrench and I'll drop it on the floor, trying to tighten my watch. It just it's nice to have a partner like Ruben.
Right on. I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
I appreciate your business. It's been fun working on the cars. I mean, that's why I do it. I really do it. I don't do it for the money. And I say that all the time, even though I shouldn't. I do it because I love it. It's been a real pleasure working on your beautiful machines, and we got to do some really cool upgrades. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the Nova probably had about roughly 100 horsepower less. The 283 was
exactly.
probably about 200 horsepower. Now we're pushing way north of 350. I mean, that's always fun to take something that's maybe not so fast, kind of peppy, and then just make it a monster. Make it just.
It's a killer car.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. And then the truck too, I can't wait. We're gonna get the rear end back soon, and that thing's gonna be probably cruising around by August. So,
That'd be
amen.
nice.
Right? Hallelujah.
Almost.
So thank you for coming, and
Yeah, thanks for having me.
we did it.
Appreciate
and yeah, thanks again. I think I'm gonna bring on my next guest right now.
All right.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah, you can chill until we phase out, but we're gonna do.
Clip this right here. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Bobby Rezik. Thank you to the Daw Center for having me. I liked what Albert said about enjoy the roar. For this first piece, it's about change, double meaning of it. So here we go. Coming up short a couple cents, and I just wanna avoid this change. Avoid this change. I just wanna avoid this change. All this change is weighing me down, and I just gotta deal with it for now. Just for now. Deal with it. Just for now. When I find a parking spot, I'm gonna spend my pockets into the parking meter. Goodbye, change. I was used to it, not anymore. Goodbye, change. It's gone. Coming up short a couple cents, and I guess I'll take this change. No card, only cash. That was Goodbye Change. Thank you. It sounds so good to have multiple claps again. This next song I wrote few years ago about a person named Dan. Yeah, it was an eventful day. So here's to Dan, and here we go. Dan the man, he drives around in a pickup truck, studying the world, oh, how it's hardly changed. Young men in ties have taken his house, and the dog next door is running on time to work. But you know what? Dan's okay, and he's just living his life in the right way. Dan the man, he ain't afraid of rattlesnakes. In fact, he's got a tattoo of one right on his neck. His wrinkles fold the tattoo into a caterpillar. The older you get, the less you give a shit. You know what? Dan's okay. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. This is an awesome piano. Excellent. Thank you for watching.
Back to me. Thank you. That was pretty awesome. Thanks, Bobby. That was pretty cool. So, reminder, everybody, mark your calendars for September 25th. That's the day of the big car show. Everybody's gonna be here. It's gonna be the biggest car show at Pomona's seen in a long time. So we want to see you here. Yes, you. Please show up. Bring your friends. Tell your cars. I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. I want to send a special thanks to the DAW one more time. Our guests from Rancho Transmission, Trisha and Sal. You guys were awesome. Thanks again, Albert, for bringing out the Nova and for spending some time with us this evening.